At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Culture and Coffee with Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys is back this Friday, February 6th, featuring members from the Nebraska baseball team. Stop by this Friday between 5 and 8 p.m. as we turn the ticket into a skate park. You heard that right, a skate park. And also highlight the upcoming year for Husker baseball with players from the team. Again, that's 5 to 8 p.m. this Friday, February 6th, for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a Vintage Market Plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you won't want to miss.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Big box stores are tempting for buying.
by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arends and Derek Pearson.
Welcome to Late Night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman here on this glorious Monday, February 2nd, 2026. I had a little carryover there due to Westwood 1 carrying the Texas Tech Kansas college basketball game that came down to the final shot. Kansas holds on for a 64-61 victory. Right after that one came off the air, we had to get that timed up perfectly, and I think I did a pretty good job there. So it was down to the wire. We had to make sure to keep it on the forefront, and I did not want to cut that off because that would have been bad. So wanted to finish that game. Jayhawks get the win over the Red Raiders, 64-61. But we're here, Late Night Lincoln live with Nick Whyman here on February 2nd, 2026, 93.7 Ticket. Little housekeeping. If you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or on Allo Channel 961, you're with me for 2 hours tonight. You're rocking with me. 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman's Jewelers text line. Let's chat. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. We have a lot of really good discussions here to have tonight, and I will be sure to read your text when they come in. We have a lot to talk about. There is a jam-packed weekend. Last Thursday, I previewed how Nebraska had a jam-packed week of athletics across the board, not only in basketball and wrestling, but there was a lot of tennis. We'll get down to a little bit of that. We're going to start out with, in this first hour, we'll talk a little about Nebraska basketball, the weekend review, two big games, obviously, on their schedule. We'll talk a little bit about Husker athletics in general, and then we'll talk about some news in Major League Baseball with TV rights, especially with the local team here, the Kansas City Royals, how and where you can watch the boys in blue in a couple months. Opening day is only here in March. It's coming quick. Spring training, the report to spring training soon. That'll be covered in this first hour. Second hour, Super Bowl week is here. We'll obviously talk news and notes regarding the Super Bowl, what to know about, pretty basic information, and get you caught up to speed on everything around Super Bowl 60 down in Santa Clara, and kind of look at how both teams got here and how their seasons have progressed since preseason all the way into Super Bowl 60, which is this Sunday. And we'll also talk about the Winter Olympics that is coming up. We've talked about the Olympics a couple times, but we're going to dive into kind of like what's on tap and what happens, what games are happening before the opening ceremonies on Friday afternoon, local time here, Friday night in Europe, in Milan. And then we'll wrap up. I have a little bit of crazy stat to read. Pistol Pete Maravich, crazy stat I saw. I see it every so often. I kind of wanted to dive into it and just see what that's all about. But a little housekeeping there is done. But 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Nick Whyman here on Late Night in Lincoln. Let's finally get into something. We had to wait for that college basketball game to end. A very, very good college basketball game, to say the least. Kansas Jayhawks picking up a 64-61 win. They've had two quality wins in the past couple of days. They at one point, they were barely going to be sniffing the top 25. And then they just beat BYU and beat Texas Tech in 2 of the last 3 days. So good for the Jayhawks. Bill Self and them getting back on schedule. So we'll start out Nebraska basketball. Coming into last week around this time, they were 20-0 and ranked the highest they've been ranked in program history at number 5. However, that first loss finally came. Nebraska falling on the road in Ann Arbor to Michigan, 75-72. In retrospect, had a couple of days to kind of sit on this one. My final thoughts on this one against the Wolverines, where Nebraska were down Rinkmast, who obviously was very sick. And then you're down Braden Frager, who's been probably one of your most valuable freshmen, one of the most valuable players to this team. You're down both of them. You only lose by 3 points to Michigan, who is now number 2 in the country as of today's AP poll. Live and move on. That's the way you do. A tough environment to win. You move on. So Nebraska returns home yesterday, Sunday, February 1st, to take on Illinois in a rematch from December. And Illinois, man, they might be the hottest team in college basketball, not just in the Big Ten, college basketball. Very impressive what they did. Nebraska obviously played them back in December, and Nebraska got the last laugh, 83-80, when Jamarcus Lawrence hit the buzzer beater down in Champaign
This time around, Nebraska on the losing end of a 78-69 loss to the Fighting Illini as Illinois comes away with the win at Pinnacle Bank Arena yesterday. Nebraska now on a 2-game skid, 9-2 in conference play. As for Illinois, they are 19-3, 10-1 in Big Ten play. The Illinois Fighting Illini have won 11 straight games now. Their last loss was that Nebraska loss earlier in the season. Thoughts on this one? If you'd like to chime in, just overall thoughts on that Nebraska basketball game last night. I dig the whiteout, though. I talking to Raph earlier, I dig the whiteout. I really like the feel of it. Just felt like a big game. And I think the fans, I'm glad. I know the student section got shirts that were white. Not the entire arena had the same shirt, but those two, though, the people who came in and have tickets were able to, they understood the assignment, wore white. They didn't say, oh, I don't got any white in my wardrobe, so I'm just going to red and be my Nebraska red fit. No, it was a whiteout. And I like that. I think it makes the games feel bigger, and Nebraska basketball having that big of a game in their backyard and fans being able to show up on a Sunday and support the Husker Hoops. Awesome to see. This game, Nebraska had the lead at the half, and it felt like Nebraska was garnering some momentum to kind of be able to use the crowd and use the momentum to carry them to a win. But then the Huskers went cold from 3. And you kind of saw a little bit of that in Ann Arbor. Saw a little bit of it here. Illinois was just, they had the right game plan. They were able to limit Nebraska as a whole. Leading scorer for Nebraska ended up being Braden Frager off the bench with 20 points. Good to see him back. Good to see him playing at a high level. You want to see that out of that guy. That guy coming off that injury, he went down to a high school game at Southwest or Lincoln High or wherever it was earlier the day before, and was out there without a boot on. So everybody was like, oh, and then he got a really nice ovation from the crowd at Pinnacle Bank Arena yesterday when he checked into the game to get his return to the lineup after missing 2 games. It didn't feel like a long time, but those 2 games felt like a very long time for Husker fans. He scores 20 off the bench, shoots 50%, 6 of 12 from 3. And then Price had 14. Price Sanford had 14. Sam Morgan had 13. Jamarcus Lawrence had 10. Nobody else in double figures. Nebraska only played 7 guys. We talked a lot about Nebraska's depth this year. This game, they didn't really show it. Jacob Garcia didn't play. Curtis didn't play. Frager and Jacobson were off the bench. And that's it. It was a 7-man rotation for the Huskers. And same for Illinois. They only had 7 guys. Illinois has been able to get to the line. I know a talking point has been the refs, the calls, Nebraska not getting the calls. I look at it this way. Illinois was being able to crash the boards. They were both, the 2-point shots and 3-point shots were very similar, but Illinois shots were very under the rim, very near the rim, being able to crash the basket. And that's the way their offense flowed. Nebraska were a lot of tough jumpers. Most of the time, a lot of threes. They were able to crash the boards and being able to create contact, and then the refs would call the foul. I don't think that really played a factor. I think Nebraska's cold shooting at times really played a factor. Illinois, even when Nebraska would get momentum, Illinois was able to answer and silence the crowd and be able to make a big bucket. And man, Illinois, I mean, as impressive, I mean, 2 losses is not the end of the world for Nebraska, but I was impressed with Illinois. Just coming out of this game, this is a team that beat Purdue in their own place. Keaton Wagler, this guy is taking the college basketball world by storm. Wasn't really a name I knew a lot of. I kind of saw his name in the NBA draft, mock drafts throughout the year, and it's like, okay, Illinois always has some guys who are NBA caliber and whatever. But he's had probably one of the most impressive 3-game stretches in the nation. After this. So Purdue last Saturday on the 24th, an 88-82 win over Purdue at Purdue. Tough place to play. Shoots 76.5% from the floor, 81% from 3, and scores 46 points. Before that, his season high was 23 points, which was way back in December against Ohio State. 46 points on Purdue. He went bucket for bucket with Braden Smith, and it was awesome to watch. Then they play Washington last Thursday. Wagler drops 22. And then in Lincoln, he drops 28. He had a very quiet first half in that game, too, in Lincoln. And he was able to take over the game and make some tough buckets and get Illinois to a win. That is a very good Illinois team, and they were playing without Boswell, their second best player. I mean, they looked really good. Like, when I was watching him make those shots, I was like, man, he could probably shoot from the parking lot and make a shot. He was rolling. And if Wagler's going to play like that, this team is going to be tough come tournament time. And they look all as what you thought they would get. Illinois playing like that, man, they were never good. Yeah, Wagler so far is averaging 18 points per game. Keelan Boswell is their other guard. He's a senior, averaging he's second on the team in points, 14.3 points per game. He's been out with an injury. If they can get him back, Illinois is going to be a tough outcome. They're going to be a tough outcome tournament time. I know it's only the first start of February, but they looked really good. I think Brad Underwood's a really good coach. I liked him at his time at Stephen F. Austin, and he's always been a very competitive coach. You can see it the way he looks. He's a guy you run a brick wall through. And credit to them. Tip your cap to what they've done at Illinois. 8147 says Illinois was the first time all season a team looked better than Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, they looked great. They're tall, depth. They have very tall. They played really good defense. They had a lot of really good blocks. Were able to swat some balls away at the rim. 8147 also says, I know Nebraska beat them earlier too, but they look more talented and more well coached. I don't think that's a slight to Nebraska. I think it's a compliment to Illinois. Yeah, I mean, it's the Big Ten basketball. It's Big Ten basketball. It's one of the, if not the toughest conference in college basketball. It's up there. There may be some teams at the bottom like Oregon and Penn State right now who are not at that level, but the top 8-9 teams are tough, and it's tough to win in the conference. And that is a talented team, and you beat Purdue and Nebraska in back-to-back weekends. That's a dream scenario for Illinois. And Illinois, looking at their schedule, 19-3, losses to Nebraska, losses to Alabama and UConn. Those are their losses. Next weekend, they could do it again. They play on the 7th against Michigan State, another ranked team on the road. Can they do it for a third weekend in a row? We'll have to find out. But going back to Nebraska, I think with the Huskers, these are just two losses here. 20-2. The season is not defined late January, early February. These are two losses. A loss was going to come. You're not going to go 30-0 or whatever, especially in the Big Ten Conference when you have to play your best every night. And kudos to Illinois. They played their best that night or that afternoon in Lincoln. So Nebraska will flip the schedule, flip the page, going out on the road. I like that they have a little bit of time off. Rink Mast obviously has not played his best, maybe getting his footing back after he got rushed to the ER, dehydration, sickness, whatever it be. Nebraska gets a nice little cool week off after that stretch of games. And they'll play Saturday morning, morning our time, but in Piscataway, 12 noon, 11 o'clock Central Time against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights out in Piscataway. Post-game coverage will be right here on 98.7 The Ticket at around 1 o'clock, right after the final buzzer sounds between the Cornhuskers and the Scarlet Knights. But Nebraska gets a nice little couple days off to get back into it, hit the ground running. 2 losses, but you like to handle business out there in Piscataway, win that game, because then the next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, the Boilermakers of Purdue are coming to town. And Nebraska's beaten them a couple times here in Lincoln. They rushed the court one time against them in the couple years ago. And that's a game coming up. And then after that, the schedule, we're getting down to the end of the road of regular season play. We got Northwestern at Iowa, Penn State, Maryland, then the West Coast trip at USC, at UCLA, and then close out the regular season on March 8th against Iowa. So we got Iowa twice in the next 5 weeks, and then Big Ten tournament should be a fun time. Big Ten tournament should be kicking into high gear then after that, and then it's going to go by quick. The month of February, college basketball really turns up the notch a lot because NFL's kind of wrapping up, especially wrapping up this Sunday with the Super Bowl. And then you have kind of college basketball filling the void for you on TV until Selection Sunday, and then March Madness obviously is its own thing. Don't forget the College Basketball Crown is happening again this year in the NIT. If you like your basketball fix, there are plenty of options for college basketball. And the conference tournament is awesome. Like the mid-majors playing their conference tournaments in the middle of the week. Awesome to see. There's so much basketball. You can get so much basketball here in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and it's awesome. And that's not the end of it, because the postseason play continues and goes on and on and on. So Nebraska turning their attention to Rutgers after 2 consecutive losses. Nebraska men's basketball sits at 20-2 on the season. So the Huskers looking to get back in the win column this weekend. As always, post-game coverage will be right here on 93.7 Ticket. We're going to take a break, and we'll talk about just Husker athletics in general this past weekend and what to look forward to this week, as it's another stacked week of Husker athletics. Late night in Lincoln, you're rocking with me, Nick Whyman, here on 93.7 Ticket. We'll be right back after this break.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
It's the 2-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out a brand new 2026 Ford Explorer for only $39,995. That's right, under $40,000 for a brand new Explorer, loaded with extras like Copilot 360, second row captain's chairs, and more. With approved credit, receive financing as low as 2.9%. Treat mom to a new Explorer for Valentine's Day this year from Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect. MSRP $45,175.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Welcome back to Late Night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman with you. First hour of this 2-hour show here on 93.7 The Ticket. So before we went to break, I talked a little bit about how we're going to talk about Nebraska athletics in general. We'll get a little bit into that, but there was a little bit of some news that kind of just broke in the sports world. So Shams Charania at ESPN just tweeted, the Los Angeles Lakers and 11-time All-Star James Harden are working through whether the sides can find a deal by Thursday's NBA trade deadline. Both sides are aligned in conversation together and with interested in teams. So it seems James Harden is going to be on the market once again. I feel like we have this conversation every other year where this guy is jumping teams. He joined the Clippers after his time with the Nets and the Sixers and you name it. And he's been with the Rockets, the Thunders where he started. And now it looks like another team could be in it. It sounds like they're looking at teams that he is interested in. One, it sounds like the Cavaliers are engaging in talks. The Cavs are trying to make a push for a playoff. It's not even a playoff, but a championship run if they can get James Harden on board. I don't know. He's been close at times. Houston year when they probably should have beaten the Warriors, but they couldn't make a three-pointer in the fourth quarter. But since then, he's kind of just been kind of a role player. And that Clippers situation is interesting because they had never really panned out. They were hoping that James Harden, Kawhi, and them were going to help bring in championships at the moment, and haven't really got there. And right now, Clippers are kind of treading water. It'll be interesting. So James Harden's looking to move to another team. The Clippers are looking to trade him. Trade deadline is this Thursday, so a lot is going to happen in the NBA over the next 3 or 4 days. Trade deadline is on Thursday. The NBA, there's been a couple of trades. Obviously, the Trae Young one. The Hawks made a mini trade the other day. But the dominoes are going to start falling. Giannis, James Harden, John Morant. It is going to be a wild time. The trade deadline is always nuts. We had the Luka Doncic trade a year ago when the Lakers beat the Knicks. And then all of a sudden, Anthony Davis is traded to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. Everybody remembers where they were in that trade. That was a wild time, and it was late at night like this. I cannot believe that still happened, and here we are today in 2026. We'll see what happens. Trade deadline's coming up. So, Nebraska sports. Nebraska had a jam-packed weekend. Tennis had some duels. Gymnastics hosted a meet at home. The men went up to Ohio State for a gymnastics meet. It was just a jam-packed week. Rifle had some home meets. Wrestling obviously started out Friday. Wrestling had the duel against Penn State, the number 1 ranked Nittany Lions. Nebraska suffered a loss in that one, but Nebraska scored the most points anybody has scored on Penn State this year, which was dating back to Wyoming back in December when Wyoming lost 40-7. And Nebraska wrestling faced the same Penn State team, loses 26-12. There's a reason Penn State's number 1. Penn State's really good. But Nebraska wrestling, look at their stretch. They've had a tough kind of ended January, losing to Iowa 22-14, losing to Ohio State by 1, 17-16, and then dropping a road duel at University Park to Penn State 26-12. Nebraska wrestling will have their final home duel of the year as the Huskers take on the Northwestern Wildcats. Senior Day, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Post-match, obviously, it'll be at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock here on 93.7 The Ticket this Sunday. Should be a fun one. Final senior day. Caleb Smith and Ridge Lovett when you were earlier on All In. And they talked about what their senior days kind of meant to them and what it meant, what it was like. They said great things about it and said how seeing all the people showing up to support them, being able to compete at that kind of a level and being able to, Caleb Smith said he got his 100th win on senior day, which is awesome. Awesome to see. So wrestling trying to get back in the win column. Also, the Nebraska women's basketball team picked up 2 wins over Illinois and Northwestern last week on Saturday, January 24th and Wednesday, January 28th. However, that short winning streak came to a close as the Huskers went on the road to Columbus to battle the Ohio State Buckeyes and lost 90-71 in a high-scoring game with Ohio State. Nebraska suffers a loss to end that short winning streak. Nebraska, Maya Hargrove leading the way with 24 points. Britt Prince limited to only 12 points in the loss, and Logan Nisley with 11. Those are the scores in double digits for the Huskers, and Nebraska's short 2-game winning streak gets snapped by Ohio State. But it's a big week again for Nebraska sports. So it's a little chill Monday and Tuesday, not a whole lot. It feels like every day we had a basketball game going on at some point. Nebraska had the men playing one night, the women playing the other. The men don't play till Saturday, so they get a little bit of time off before the schedule picks up again at Rutgers, obviously Saturday, and then next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but next coming Tuesday, home against Purdue. Kicking off the week of action for Husker Athletics, Nebraska women heading up to Michigan on February 4th, Wednesday. 6 o'clock start out there. So Michigan women's basketball just played Michigan State last night, in East Lansing, and Michigan went to overtime and beat Michigan State. Michigan State's having a heck of a season, one of their best in program history in women's basketball. Michigan's just as good. Michigan's top 10 for a reason. They're really good. So Nebraska, another test on their schedule after playing Ohio State, who's number 11 going into yesterday. Another tough team on the schedule for Nebraska. After that, women's tennis heads down to Wichita on Friday. They're playing Wichita State at 11 o'clock in a duel. There's a lot of track. Nebraska hosting a Husker Invitational this weekend on Friday. There's a lot going on. And there's softball obviously getting into season. Softball season begins. It's been cold. It's been snowy. But hey, softball and baseball are right around the corner. And baseball coming next week. But softball is here. Softball, Nebraska ranked number 10 in the preseason polls. And they're hitting the ground running. Nebraska softball is going to be something to watch. They are going to be they have a lot of road games out of the gate, just like baseball. Same situation where you're playing in Arizona, Texas, Florida, just to stay warm and the weather. It's just like baseball. Same situation where it snows every day in the Midwest, it feels like, or it's too cold and you never play. But Nebraska softball, they have a long week. First week of the season, they're heading down to the UTSA Invitational down in San Antonio. And not like baseball, they'll play multiple games in a day, like any softball season in Nebraska softball. If you've ever been to a game out there bowling, it is awesome to watch. Great environment. I've always said, even before just working in sports media, I think softball is one of the most underrated and underappreciated sports. Not just in Nebraska, but just in general. I think it's a tough sport. It's a very mental sport too. It's hard to hit a softball. I'll say that. And there's a lot that goes into it. Not only just in college, but high school and growing up playing it. It's a tough sport. So Nebraska softball ranked number 10 to start the year. They will play 2 games this Friday in San Antonio. They play Washington to begin the season, and then they'll play the number 1 team in the nation in Texas down in San Antonio. So Nebraska softball already kicking in the high gear. Crazy. I feel like just the other day it was Christmas. Now we got softball and baseball on the horizon. Not only are the Nebraska playing those two teams, the Huskies, they're playing a conference game to open the season too, which is very unusual, but it is what it is. Then you got Texas, an old rival, old conference foe. Not only will Nebraska play Texas that one time, they'll play them to open play on Saturday too, as they play the Longhorns at 3 o'clock, 3:35 first pitch down there in San Antonio. And then on Saturday, the cap off the day, they'll play 6 o'clock against the host UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio. And then they'll play Washington one more time on Sunday, February 8th. So pretty solid start. Yeah, UTSA, Washington twice, and Texas twice to start the season for the Husker softball team. And then after that, they go to the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational down in Florida. And from February 12th to the 15th, they'll play LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, Central Florida, and Texas Tech. And they have another tournament down in California the next weekend. Their first time being at home is not for a while. It's a long time. That's not until the Big Rig Classic back in March, but they play a ton of games even before that. They'll play South Dakota State in a doubleheader on Thursday, March 5th, and then they'll play Omaha that weekend for 2 games as well. So Nebraska softball, a lot of chances to watch them play. They play a lot of. There's a couple games that are going to be on TV during that Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational, if I can get that out. They will play a couple games on television and be able to watch the Husker softball team as they begin their season, as they are going to be a team to watch as they are ranked inside the top 10 to begin the season. And they already have 3 players named and Big Ten players to watch as well. So Nebraska softball will be a hot commodity come this spring. But looking down the rest of the schedule here, you look, we talked about basketball, the women's basketball team playing. They start off the week on Wednesday to get Nebraska sports rolling into the season. But there's a lot to go by. Nebraska basketball, the men's basketball team obviously playing on Saturday morning at 11 a.m., which will be a game to watch, just see how they respond. Lose 2 straight. Losing stinks in anything. But to see them get back on track would be nice. Gymnastics also back at it again on Saturday, 4 o'clock, Nebraska, Penn State. Men's gymnastics, while the women go to Iowa at the same time. So there is a lot going on. And then Sunday, men's tennis in action, home against North Dakota. And then wrestling. So it's not as a hectic weekend as it was with bowling and track and everything, but now you have a solid foundation of sports. You have softball thrown into the mix. There's still a lot going on in the sports world here in Huskerland. So no basketball until Wednesday night in Ann Arbor is the Nebraska women's basketball team heads up there. Nebraska playing on Saturday in men's basketball against Rutgers, and then wrestling is on Sunday. But then you also throw in a track invite / tennis duels, gymnastics on Saturday, and Nebraska softball playing 5 games in 3 days. So a lot going on. It's going to be a busy week. You'll hear a lot about it. Stick with us here on 93.7 The Ticket. You will hear a lot of talk about all those sports and much more because this is the home for Huskers. You can hear, there's so much. We have, Harrison always says it, we have 18 hours of content every day, and you are able to hear it from multiple voices and be able to chime in too. Because we're about to go to break, but 402-464-5685. You're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or Allo Channel 961. Chime in. We're about to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball. Some news came out today regarding television rights and how that will work going forward. A lot of Royals fans in this area, so we can all talk about it. 402-464-5685, Late Night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman with you. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Tomorrow is about the lessons we learn today. A farmer's market teaches us that community is grown together. Kids laughing shows us how joy is easy. And coffee on the porch reminds us to savor every moment. These are the lessons that shape a tomorrow we all share. One filled with trust, good company, and wide open dreams. That's the way banking should be. And that's Pinnacle Bank. Member FDIC.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Welcome back, Late Night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman with you. Final segment of this first hour. Talked a little bit about Nebraska basketball and Nebraska sports that have happened in the past Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and preview the week coming up. We're going to shift gears here a little bit and talk a little bit about some Major League Baseball news that happened today. Not trades, not signings, nothing to do with the offseason, with spring training coming up, but there is news around the MLB and their how they're going to show games, distribute local games. The Kansas City Royals are one of them. They are the local team here. A lot of fans reside in Nebraska. You get a lot of the games on TV, obviously, but they are in the news regarding this situation due to the fact that the Kansas City Royals announced today that the games will be produced and distributed by Major League Baseball on Royals.tv for the 2026 season. Royals games will be available on cable and satellite television as well as on the MLB app. This is due to the FanDuel Sports Network situation where they were Main Street Sports. They were going up against their other teams, and 6 other teams decided to go this route. You saw a couple teams go this route toward the end of last season as well, with MLB producing their games. So it'll still be your same old guys calling the game, same people. But it is the Kansas City Royals announced that they would be producing and distributing games through Royals.tv. Major League Baseball Pioneer this direct-to-consumer sports programming remains the front edge of protecting quality and innovation. MLB's track record shows that fans and teams joining the production have had at least the same accessibility to games through cable, satellite, and streaming, and often more. Royals president, business operations Colin Maxey said that this is a big win for our fans. MLB pioneered remains the leader and said the exact same statement I just read. So fans who live inside the Royals home television territories can purchase the Royals.com TV in-market streaming package through MLB.com. That is an option. Or on the MLB app. But their subscriptions for the 2020 season will be available later this month. That is one way out-of-market fans can watch the games on MLB.tv. And the games will still be called by the same people, as said in the statement that was put out. If you have a cable provider or if you have a cable provider that has the games on there and you live inside, there's a map pictured. You can go to find all the questions. As a Royals fan, I was kind of up in arms thinking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to watch 162 games this summer and this season? How am I going to be able to watch the Royals? There was the Twitter account for the Royals commented at somebody because there were a lot of people asking questions, so a lot of verbiage, a lot of words, and you hear, oh, you got to subscribe to this, you got to subscribe to that. That is something that you see and you're like, oh my gosh, I already pay for this and that. It was a very topic that's the first question that came into my mind. So the Royals came out with a tweet with a large thread here that said basically how you're going to be able to watch. They said specific cable and satellite distributors and exact channel locations will be announced closer to the start of the regular season at Royals, the Kansas City Royals official X account, Twitter account said on social media. So it'll be available on select cable and satellite providers. Specific ones and channel locations will be announced closer to the commented that about a bajillion times. There's more information you can find on MLB.com. I find it interesting because it seems like they're going to have a way that you can be able to watch. You won't get blacked out. If you're a baseball summer guy who watches baseball all the time, it's a kind of a cool down from football and basketball. The NBA Finals kind of wraps up in June. This baseball is kind of the sport that you watch in the summer. And as a Royals fan, I have watched so many of their games over the years. I've watched some bad seasons. I've watched a lot of 100-loss seasons. I still have to find a way to watch. I'm going to watch. And it sounds like if you already had a provider that had the Royals games, that you'll be able to watch them in some shape or form and be able to watch them locally, since we're not technically in Kansas City, but they're in the Kansas City market. There's a graph pretty much that has the states in blue that are able to watch. So they're going to be able to make it a way that you'll be able to continue to watch. Channel number might be the same channel, might just be a different branding. We've seen that with being as a Royals fan. You've seen them over the years. They started on FS Kansas City, and then it was Bally Sports, and then it was FanDuel Sports. They've changed different lingo, different names. I kind of just what I see this is. It's a little scary, but it's nice if you have MLB.tv or whatever, you have it right there accessible to you. It's an interesting time though. It's right before the season. I hate that it's like February and they start playing spring training games here in about 3 weeks. They report spring training in a couple days, like 10 days. I think it's the first team, 10 or 11 days. So it's sneaking up quick. Then we have the World Baseball Classic. That'll be something that's talked about a lot. There's a lot going on. I know we're talking about the Winter Olympics next hour, but you have that. Then you have World Baseball Classic coming up. You have the World Cup this summer. There's a lot. This is a very exciting time in sports because there's so much globally that's going on. Somebody was telling me the other day that T20 World Cup starting up soon in cricket. I remember the USA cricket team a couple of years ago when they played in the World Cup and they made a little bit of a run. And I know nothing about cricket. I know the very basics of it. I know how it works, how the kind of scoring is. But it's hard to find. But that's exciting when there's so much going on in sports. If you love sports, that's what you're going to watch. So that's the way to watch baseball. So we're going to wrap up hour one here. Hour two coming up here. We're going to go a little bit into the Super Bowl, as it is Super Bowl week, the Monday of Super Bowl week. Big games coming up Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock, 5:19 or whatever it is, scheduled kickoff. We'll talk about how the Seahawks and the Patriots got here in the next hour, along with some other things. We'll talk about the Winter Olympics and a few other housekeeping items. Remember, James Harden also sounds like he might be on the move. They're trying to make a move. Sham Sharani of ESPN reported that the Clippers are trying to make a move for him, trade him at the deadline, basically. So that's our Late Night Lincoln's Pier 4. We're here to give you the up-to-date news on what's going on across the sports world. And that James Harden news is one of the topics. It will be a topic tomorrow, just kind of like Giannis Antetokounmpo was a topic over the last couple of days. So a lot going on, NBA trade deadline and everything else in the sports world. So we're going to go break here on 90.7 The Ticket. We'll be back for the top of the hour. You're listening to Late Night Lincoln here on The Ticket.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Dinner and a movie? You've done that. Arbor Axe House has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2 plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it, February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. Hey everyone, this is Austin Norman. Join me Friday nights at 6 p.m. for The Corner 3, your weekly look at everything going on in college hoops. I'm joined by guests who help me break down the biggest stories, best games, and under-the-radar teams and players from across college hoops. That's the Corner 3 with Austin Norman, Friday nights at 6 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arends and Derek Pearson.
Welcome back. Late Night in Lincoln here, live with Nick Whyman. One more hour here on this Monday, February 2nd, 2026. We just got done with hour one talking Husker men's basketball after their 2 losses to Illinois and Michigan. Nebraska wrestling, women's basketball, suffering their losses, but getting back. Nebraska wrestling coming back and home on Sunday. 1 o'clock against Northwestern. Nebraska women playing on the road in Ann Arbor against Michigan on Wednesday. Big week ahead. Nebraska softball as well, starting up their season on Friday, playing 2 games on Saturday and a game on Sunday. Washington, Texas, and UTSA in that span. And then how to watch the Royals, which MLB will now be having their games on Royals.tv come baseball season, which is not too far away. Today it felt like it was it was low 40s. Felt like, and this week is going to get in the 50s here in Lincoln. Everyone's going to be wearing shorts because they're so used to -5 degrees, or feels like -20 degrees on days. So still, it's pretty chilly out. By the time I step out there, I got here around 4 o'clock, and the sun was out, so it felt nice. But when I'm leaving here, what's the temperature right now? Temperature right now here in Lincoln is 30 degrees. That's solid. That is solid. We will take it. I will take it. 30 degrees, not bad. It's still a tad chilly. Tomorrow, one of the colder days, 35 degrees. But Thursday, 57. Get the shorts out, everybody. 57 degrees. Will feel like a nice summer day to some people after dealing with the negatives. 402-464-5685. Nick Whyman here on Late Night in Lincoln. 402-464-5685 is the text line number for Sarge Jamin Jewelers. Let's chat. We got a lot to talk about. We just talked about all the Husker. What to see in the Huskers for the next week ahead. Let's dive into the elephant in the room, the game that everybody, most people will be watching on Sunday. The Super Bowl. The big game is this coming Sunday. We are 6 days out. The New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. If you would have told me these 2 teams would be in this part of the season, would be in the Super Bowl back in August, I'd be like, nah, not really. I mean, it's like, okay, maybe the Patriots. A lot of people are picking a trendy pick for the Patriots to begin the year, saying, like, oh, they're going to be a Super Bowl team. I could have seen it being like not a Super Bowl team, but a wild card team, or like a win the division, maybe. I could have seen it like, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs, take a step forward to get Mike Vrabel now. I could have seen that. Super Bowl? No. I would have been like, all right, maybe the Bills, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Ravens. A lot of those teams started to kind of trickle down, and New England kept going up, and Denver's right there, those 2 teams. And they met 2 weekends ago. And New England's heading to the Super Bowl. 12th time in their franchise history. That is kind of crazy to say, because it's throughout most of my lifetime, the Patriots have been good. They had about a 5-year stretch there from 2020 to last year. Not great. Cut back-to-back 4-13 seasons. got rid of Gerard Mayo as coach, bringing Mike Vrabel, who some reason got let go by the Titans. That still blows my mind that the Titans let go of Mike Vrabel and thought that was the situation. I think he was let go was the terms, or not really fired, but he goes away. He got them to the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, Robert Woods, you name it. Gets there to the playoffs with a team of Ryan Tannehill quarterbacking, starting quarterback for all the entire year. They're like, we're going to throw you to the side. And they throw him to the side, and where are the Titans now? They're still picking early in the draft, not even making the playoffs. Rookie quarterback, obviously, and they have another Cam Ward's on another coach already. We can talk about that, too. We can talk about the coaches, because officially all the coaching vacancies have been filled. So we can talk a little bit about that here in this segment later after we go through Super Bowl. We'll talk a little bit just kind of the basics here, because it's Super Bowl week. We're going to talk about it all week across every show. It's the final football game of the professional football. I would say professional, but the UFL, the United Football League, and the CFL will be coming up here in March and May. The last game of the NFL, college football, kind of puts a stamp on what the normal football fan watches. I will say I'm not a normal football fan. I watch the CFL, I watch the UFL. Not everybody watches that. I get it. But for those who watch only college and the NFL side of football, this is the final football game of the year until you start watching football back in August. That's just how it is. And that's your opinion. I watch CFL and UFL because I have that football fix in the spring and in the summer, and it gets me through the time. And it's something that's on. It's football. It's football. I'll watch. So Patriots, Seahawks, Super Bowl. These teams are here. Going to be playing. Seahawks capped off the year 14-3, first place in the NFC West. Excuse me. Patriots went 14-3, capped off the year first in the AFC East. So, and looking back, let's look at the season as a whole. Both teams started with losses to begin the year. So, Seahawks lost 17-13 to the 49ers, and a lot of people had the 49ers making it back to the Super Bowl. After that, they ran 3 straight wins. Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Arizona won all 3. Lost to Tampa, 38-35 in a high-scoring game. Then they came out and beat Jacksonville, beat Houston, beat Washington, beat Arizona. They blew about a lot of those games. 38-14 against the Commanders, 44-22 against Arizona. And then they lost the Rams, 21-19 on November 16th. However, after that game, Seahawks didn't want to lose. They beat the Titans, Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Rams, and then really good Thursday night football game. And that game was a classic, 38-37 overtime. Seahawks go for 2 and win the game. Beat Carolina, beat San Francisco to wrap up regular season play. After that, postseason, we saw the last couple of weeks, rolled the 49ers and then beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. And the Seahawks are now in the Super Bowl for the first time in almost 10 years. And on the flip side, we have the Patriots. The Patriots, week 1. A lot of people are talking about this team, the Patriots. They're going to make a run. They're going to make a playoff spot. They're going to get the playoff push. They have Mike Vrabel now. Okay, I hear it. I could see them sneaking in as like a 7 seed or a 6 seed in August. I could have seen it. But then they lost to the Raiders week 1. 20-13, they lost to the Raiders. On September 7th, Geno Smith and the Raiders beat Drake May and the Patriots. And the Raiders were the worst team in the league. And at that time, it's like, okay, maybe New England still has another year, maybe another year to get back to the glory days of their 2 decades of dominance. Maybe this isn't the year with Drake May making that step. Drake May had 30 completions in that game in a 20-13 loss to the Raiders. After that, beat Miami. And they lost to the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, 21-14. 1-2 record. Still, maybe this isn't the year for the Patriots. It's early. Maybe this isn't the year that they're going to make that next step. Maybe they need one more year. No. Then they ended up rattling off, winning every single game in October and November, and then losing their first game in December, losing their third game of the year, first game in December on December 14th. During their win streak, they beat Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the Jets, Cincinnati, and then the Giants on that Monday Night Football game. They had a bye week, and then they lost to Buffalo at home, 35-31 in a high-scoring affair between the Patriots and Bills. But then the cap off regular season, beat the Ravens on the road, destroyed the Jets at MetLife, like 42-10. Drake May didn't even finish the game because they're up by so much, and he only threw one completion against the Jets. Threw one incompletion against the Jets. He went a 19 of 21, 5 touchdowns, 256 yards. Yeah, that's a pretty solid game. And then beat Miami 38-10 in the final week of the regular season to put the Patriots into the playoffs with a 14-3 record. Unlike the Seahawks, the Patriots didn't get the first round bye due to not being the 1 seed because the Denver Broncos grabbed that. So Patriots that played LA Chargers beat them 16-3. Complete domination. Justin Herbert, no line to block for him. They just could not move the ball. Houston Texans. That game, there were so many turnovers in that game. CJ Stroud had a lot of picks. 28-16 win for the Patriots. And the Patriots ended up beating Denver 10-7 in the AFC Championship game when the game totally turned into a blizzard in the second half. And they were going up against Jarrett Stidham, who made one big throw in the first half. Or 2 big throws, I would say. The big one downfield, Marvin Mims, and then the touchdown to Cortland Sutton. But outside of that, New England defense dominated, and Christian Gonzalez got the pick to ice the game pretty much after Drake May got the first down and win the game. So here we are. Month of December just started. Super Bowl's coming up in Santa Clara, California. The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots. Saw this a couple years ago. I saw a video, funny enough. If I guess, what are your early Super Bowl predictions in the chat? 402-464-5685. If you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or on Alex Channel 961, if you want to chime in, what are your just early thoughts on this Super Bowl matchup? You've had a little bit of time to kind of digest that this is the matchup you're going to get. This is the matchup you're going to watch between Sam Darnold and the Seahawks against Drake May and the Patriots. I guess if you're cheering for one team, if you're pulling for a team, tell me why. And if you're a fan of the team, I guess if you're a Seahawks fan or a Patriots fan and you're watching, just tell me your overall thoughts on the season as a whole. I'd like to hear from their kind of perspective because I'm not a fan of either team, but I'd like to just hear just kind of like what this season kind of meant for you because Patriots had Tom Brady all those years, and it's like, man, what if we never get that feeling again because we had probably the greatest quarterback to ever play on a football game in the NFL. And you had to go through Cam Newton years, and maybe Jarrett Stidham's the guy. You had that moment with Cam Newton, and then Drake May and Mac Jones was supposed to be the guy. Mac Jones was supposed to be the next guy, franchise quarterback. Didn't work out. He's jumped around the league. And then you end up with Drake May, 3rd overall pick in the draft. And if you're a Seahawks fan, you had the Russell Wilson years. You had the Legion of Boom. But it's been a while. It's been a while. That kind of threaded off. Pete Carroll leaves. Kind of felt like it's a new era of Seattle Seahawks football. And then you end up with Geno Smith for a number of years. And he had some fun times in Seattle. But he leaves and signs Sam Darnold, a guy who's jumped around the league. He's played for multiple franchises and former 3rd overall pick with the Jets. Didn't work out there. Went to Carolina. Was a backup in one of the Super Bowls with the 49ers. Was with the Vikings last year. Vikings threw him to the side because they had all their peas in a pot for freaking J.J. McCarthy. He leaves, has a chip on his shoulder, and now he's in the Super Bowl. He's a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl. It's a crazy time. 8147 says Seahawks 34-18 as a score prediction. I mean, yeah, the Seahawks, I mean, they're going to score points. The way their offense is, they're such a cool team, I think, because this, it's not like your Marshawn Lynch team, but you have Kenneth Walker, who's going to break a lot of tackles and he's going to be able to move the ball, make easy downs for Sam Darnold off play. They've run really good play action. Sam Darnold's really good off play action. And you have Jackson Smith and Najigba, who's playing at such a crazy level right now, like a crazy level. You have those guys. Defense is playing really well. The Rams, they were able to stand their ground. Rams could have got a touchdown, won the game, but they stood their ground. 8147 says, Patriots are never so far behind where they're totally out of it, but it's clear fairly early that they're not winning. Yeah, I could see it. I just think the Seahawks, that they come out and they just are able just to score on their first couple drives. I mean, Rashid Shaheed is a guy to watch in the Super Bowl. I know Thursday I was going to do players to watch for and why. Spoiler alert, Rashid Shaheed is on that list. I think he is a sneaky player. I'm not saying that just because he had a kickoff return against the 49ers a couple weeks ago in the divisional round. I just think he could add just such a layer to their game. I mean, not even in the special teams. I could see him making a big touchdown catch, breaking free. He's fast. Maybe one of the winners of the trade deadline, because he was traded from the Saints, remind you. He might be a guy that we look back on like, wow, maybe imagine if they didn't make that trade. Because the Saints traded him. He was a wide receiver in the Saints. He's kind of been returner. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a kick return in the Super Bowl. Jacoby Jones had one. Devin Hester, obviously. Well, I think, yeah. Or that Jacoby Jones was a punt return, I believe. I know. My memory right now here at 11 o'clock on a Monday. Once we get more into the Super Bowl week, I'll be a little bit more on the ball. But those case of the Mondays, I would say he's going to be a key player. We'll go through our key players on Thursday. Harrison will join me. I think Rashid Shaheed is going to be a guy to watch for sure. He's a name that I am going to check all my boxes. Make sure if you're the Patriots, you're making sure you make sure somebody's on him at all time. Make sure you don't punt the ball to him. You can't miss him in a tackle or else he's going to make you pay. But yeah, I like the Seahawks just because of the way they've been able to command their offense, defense being able to stand. Patriots just have to show me a little bit more on offense. Anyone for saying thank you. Jacoby Jones was a kickoff return. Percy Harvin had a kick return in Seattle Broncos, I think was the last one. Yeah, that is the last one. And Percy Harvin, that's a callback to. I really thought he was going to work out in the NFL because he was a superstar in college and he was with the Vikings. And I thought, man, this guy is going to be like take over the game kind of wide receiver. I thought he's going to be kind of what Justin Jefferson was. Not as a whole, very different wide receiver than Justin Jefferson, but would have liked to see him kind of do a little bit more. But he did have the kickoff return in the Super Bowl, so good for him. Yes, I do remember that. Jacoby Jones had the one with the Ravens 49ers, the famous lights go out in the Super Bowl between when Joe Flacco and the Ravens won the Super Bowl. That's another really fun one. I remember I was in junior high at the time. That was a fun Super Bowl. We'll have to go back through some of these. Harrison Mead obviously ranked the top 10 of the last decade, which is 10 games, and there's some snoozers in there. We'll have to go through and rank. Raph and me ranked top performances. His top performances. There were some really good performances. Some of them I've never heard of. And he had some really cool facts. But the Super Bowl is here. Who would have thought? It goes by quick. So here's some key storylines to watch. I kind of made some bullet points real quick before we went on. Drake May, 23, is the second youngest second youngest quarterback to reach the Super Bowl. Maybe on Dan Marino. He became the youngest winner, surpassing Ben Roethlisberger. Also injuries for all these quarterbacks. They both have kind of some injuries battling. So Drake May has a shoulder injury, but he's expected to play despite limited practice appearances. So that is one nugget to watch. Sam Darnold, once a number 3 overall pick in 2018, kind of looks for redemption after kind of being a cast-off. Kind of seemed like he was going to be a career backup a couple of years ago. Jets didn't work out. Seeing ghost, obviously, that game against the Patriots. Kind of the low light of his NFL career. Goes to the Panthers with Baker Mayfield. Doesn't do much there. And then he ends up with the backup at the 49ers and kind of regains that edge and gets to be back to be a quarterback. So, and then trading Sam Darnold and subsequent quarterback decisions have left other teams regretting their choice, which is the Jets and the Vikings, who I listed, who put all their stock into J.J. McCarthy, felt like they had to roll with him, and now their GM's gone. It's kind of crazy. So it'll be interesting. So Patriots kind of trying to establish a new dynasty. That's kind of a question mark bullet point, but we don't know that until after the fact. If Drake May is really going to be that guy, then Patriots are back. We don't know that for sure, but it'd be really fun to see what they can do. So a lot of hope left on Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel can be one of the first persons to win a Super Bowl as a head coach, but also a player. He won one with New England back when he played, when Tom Brady was the quarterback. So and he was on the Patriots. So that'd be really cool to see him win one as a coach and a player of said franchise. A couple players to watch will be, I wrote down a couple of them. Jackson Smith and Jigba, obviously. He led the NFL with 1,793 receiving yards. That's kind of nuts. Of all guys to begin the year, maybe you would have said him, maybe not, but he's putting his way up there as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL just because of how he is performing and helping this team continue to grow. Because the Seahawks, I don't think I even had them in my playoff picks to begin the year. You look at the division they're in, they play the Rams and they play the Niners twice. I really thought both those teams are playoff teams just because, and they were. I didn't think there'd be 3 teams from the NFC West in the playoffs back in August, but there were. Sorry, Cardinals. Sorry, Arizona Cardinals. That's just how it rolls. We can dive into some of those coaching too. We can dive into who the final coaches were named this last weekend for the NFL too. We can wrap up this NFL segment. But kind of crazy. Kind of crazy how that came to be. Some of the NFL names finally got put together with who they got hired. We went over the ones who were hired before Thursday, like John Harbaugh, a couple other ones were in there. Todd Monken, we named him in there. The Raiders are still up in the air. Not all of them are done, but they're pretty close to done. And the Raiders kind of threw out a name who they like. It's not official, but they don't have Jesse Minter at the Ravens. Stefanski lands with the Falcons. But you have Mike LaFleur. We have 2 LaFleurs now in the NFL. There's 2 of them. Matt is going to be with the Packers coaching them, and then you have Mike LaFleur coaching the Arizona Cardinals. He was the offensive coordinator for the Rams. He's been around the league for some time now, but he's been with the Los Angeles Rams, the OC, from 2023 to this past season in 2025. So that is the Cardinals' next coach, he is going to have an interesting start to his coaching tenure, head coaching tenure with the Cardinals organization. Because the Cardinals have some decisions to make. They have basically a rookie head coach, but Kyler Murray's still there. I don't know what they're going to do because Kyler Murray's still there. They're going to have to trade him or something. And he's battled some injuries over the year. And the Cardinals are in such a weird spot, too, because you're in one of the most competitive divisions because the Rams are good. Still have Matthew Stafford. You have the Seahawks who are in the Super Bowl. And you have the 49ers who are always going to be a competitive franchise just because of what their core is right now. So you have a rookie coach, maybe a new quarterback. I don't know. Maybe they bring back Kyler Murray. That's a question that'll be answered over the next coming months. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The other hire that pretty much got announced, or not really announced yet, but Clint Kubiak, who's with the Seahawks right now in the Super Bowl, won't be official until after the Super Bowl because of it's a week of preparation for them, and they're not going to announce they're getting another job. But Clint Kubiak seems to be the guy the Raiders are narrowing in on. That'd be interesting because he's, bringing him in alongside, you have the number 1 pick. You have probably Fernando Mendoza as a quarterback, I assume. I would assume he's the number 1 pick, but there's still a lot of time before the draft happens. But it's not official that the Raiders are the final team to hire a head coach. And he'll be the final one is what it sounds like. But he's obviously coaching in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. So nothing will come until a couple days after, because a couple years ago, a guy named Brian Flores was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots when they beat the Rams, and he wasn't named the Dolphins coach until a few days after the fact, because you're obviously building up and game planning for one of your biggest games of your coaching career. So one more opening in the NFL, the Raiders. The offseason will be interesting because the draft, the quarterback class is going to be something talked about because Dante Moore staying in Oregon. You don't have a deep quarterback class. So with a guy like Kyler Murray, if you're the Cardinals, thinking about Mike LaFleur, young coach, rookie coach, I'd like to have a veteran quarterback in there. I know Kyler Murray has had his injuries and had his times but when he had Cliff Kingsbury a couple of years ago, they found success. The Cardinals roster is not built strong right now. Trey McBride's a really good tight end. He had one of the most underrated seasons in the NFL this year. They just have so many holes on the roster. I don't think it's the quarterback's problem. And you have Kyler Murray. I don't know if you want to get rid of him, then maybe draft one or sign a free agent. The Cardinals are in a weird spot, but there's a lot to go into the offseason, a lot going into the draft. These new coaches around the league. There are so many new coordinators as well. You have Brian Daboll at the Titans with Robert Saleh. The Giants are looking to put Cliff Kingsbury maybe with Harbaugh. It's a very interesting. So many teams with different play callers. So many teams with different OCs. I mean, when you have over half the league getting different offensive coordinators, that's kind of crazy. Because usually it'd be like 5 or 6 maybe on a given day. Now we have like 15 plus. It's kind of wild to see. I don't know. The NFL is going to be always a talking point, and that'll be a time to talk about. But the Super Bowl is almost here. By the time tomorrow night, we're going to talk a little bit more Super Bowl. Harrison will join me. We'll talk a little bit about just what we thoughts on both the teams in general. And we'll make our picks on Thursday as well, because I will not be here Friday. But it's always cool to see the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, you watch it regardless of who the teams are. We've seen the Chiefs and the Eagles a couple times. We've seen the 49ers in there. It's nice to see a little bit of difference. Kind of like that Rams-Bengals game a couple of years ago when they played the Super Bowl. Now you're getting a Seahawks-Patriots. We did see that a couple of years ago when Malcolm Butler had the interception on the goal line when they did not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, and probably people are still screaming at their TV, the run at the Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line. But this is a fun one because there's so much different coaches. You don't have Tom Brady or Russell Wilson quarterbacking these teams. You have Sam Darnold and Drake May, which are cool stories to get behind. A lot of cool storylines. And the more the week goes on, the more we'll talk about those. So we're going to go to a break here on 93.7 Tickets. Stick with us. Late Night in Lincoln here with Nick Whyman.
So as women, we're so hard on ourselves, and I just wanted a simple way to feel confident again and to feel like me again. And the Spectrum 7 at Max Tan gave me that little spark back and can also give it to you too. A full body light that makes my skin and my spirit feel brighter.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Hello, my name is Nick Whyman. I'm the host of Late Night in Lincoln, Monday through Thursdays from 11 o'clock to midnight. And my favorite thing to do, see, or go to in downtown Lincoln is the Nebraska State Capitol. It is a historic home to downtown Lincoln. It isn't just a beautiful building, it's a one-of-a-kind symbol of Nebraska's unique spirit. This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey guys, this is Ridge Lovett, host of Takedown Tuesdays. Catch me from 6 to 7 Tuesdays as I talk about all things Husker Wrestling. And as always, follow me on social media at Ridge Lovett.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter?
Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Just got new tires put on my car today. You did? I didn't see you leave the office. I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done. You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service? That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Welcome, everybody, back. Late Night in Lincoln here with Nick Whyman. Rocking with you another little under a half an hour here on this Monday, bringing you into your Tuesday of Super Bowl week. Patriots and Seahawks. We just got done talking about the Super Bowl. A little easy, quick little rapid fire news and notes around the Super Bowl. Obviously, both quarterbacks battling injuries, shoulder injury for Drake May, oblique injury for Sam Darnold. He's battled for a couple weeks now, but both quarterbacks will be playing in the Super Bowl. You'd assume, because that is probably the biggest game of those two individuals' lives between Drake May and Sam Darnold. But it's not only Super Bowl week, but it is Winter Olympic week. The Winter Olympics for 2026 in Milan are here as that begins in about under 48 hours. Opening ceremonies are obviously on Friday, but some games begin before the opening ceremonies take place because it's hard to fit it all in about 2 week span, but the games go on and they have to accommodate everything and be able to get games in. They have to start some preliminary rounds before the games actually take center stage. So in front of me, I have a schedule of events and some of them that are beginning, a little bit of notes around some of these before we kind of dive in. Well, the more the week goes on, the more we'll talk a little bit about some of the events as medals get won and who stands on top of the medals. We'll talk about that every night. I'll try to do a little bit of Olympic recap, kind of what highlighted the day across the Olympic world, do some from the United States, mix in some stories from across the world, because before we get into that, let's do some housekeeping here. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. What are your favorite moments watching the Olympics, winter or summer? What are some of your favorite moments? So I know the Olympics aren't for everybody. Some people are more on the summer side than the other winter side. And that's, to credit to you. That's what you enjoy. If you enjoy the winter one, enjoy the summer one. I personally enjoy the summer one more just because I know the sport's better. But like every 40 years, I get to watch some curling and some hockey now with NHL players representing their countries. And I get to watch some skeleton, luge, speed skating, you name it. The stories is what makes the Olympics. The individual stories about who we get to learn who some of these global superstars are as the weeks progress. Every day there's something new, whether it be Apollo Ono doing speed skating years ago. Lindsey Vonn obviously suffering an injury over the weekend, preparing for the games, but she is going to give it a go, and she is a legend in the Winter Olympics. A name that everybody knows in Lindsey Vonn. The Winter Olympics, what makes the Winter Olympics is the moments that it creates. Same with the Summer Olympics, the moments and the moments, the stories of these people. We go back to 2022 in the summer ones. We got Noah Lyles, the 100-meter dash, winning that. It's a thing I will remember watching. The USA men's basketball team beating France. Steph Curry going ballistic in that game. And then seeing that LeBron and Curry duo play together was awesome to see. And it's not like they were better than everybody. France, the European side of things is tough. The European and the global sport of basketball, it's not like it used to be where the USA would win by 90 points like they did against Nigeria a couple of years ago. The moments is what makes the Olympics, and I'm here for that and love seeing that. USA curling had a big moment a couple of years ago when they won gold. U.S. women's hockey winning gold was a huge moment in Winter Olympic history. I believe that was in Sochi in 2014, or maybe it was 2018. Don't quote me on that, but one of those years they won gold medal in the Olympics, and it was a huge moment. I believe it was 2018 because I think I was in college at the time, and they won gold, and it was a big deal at the time for U.S. women's hockey in the Olympics. So the games officially begin on Wednesday. At 1 o'clock Central Time. You have 4 curling matches kicking off your Olympic sprint of 2 weeks. You have 4 matches going on at the same time. It's mixed doubles. You have Sweden, South Korea, Great Britain, Norway, Canada, Czechia, and Estonia, and Switzerland, all in action at the same time that day. I think you have to have a red zone type of quad box of those and have them shown at the same time. There has to be an option for that. 8147 chimes in. Shaun White's double McTwist 1260 in 2010 and him winning gold on the final trick in 2018 are my favorite winter moments. See, stuff like that. Like, those are moments I forgot, and they're moments that are huge. That's Shaun White. Shaun White is a phenomenon and will be, because that is what he is. So on Wednesday, if you want to get your Olympic watching on 1 o'clock Central Time, there are 4 mixed curling matches on. That might be one of the only things to watch. I mean, there is probably some soccer going on across the world, like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup are probably going on in your England, and then there's some other cups, the Coppa Italia, probably going on. But if you want to watch some curling, there it is. You can kick off. That's the kickstart to the 2026 Winter Olympics on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, you get some more curling, some mixed double preliminary rounds starting at 4 o'clock in the morning live. So if you're a night owl like me, you have some curling or you can wake up to. If you're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for work or something, you got some curling on. USA taking on Norway in mixed curling at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So if you're a curling fan like me, curling might be my favorite Winter Olympic sport. It's awesome. I just find it fun. And USA mixed curling getting in action. The first mixed doubles, they'll also have a preliminary round game against at 8:30. They have 2 matches that day. They'll have one at 8:30 in the morning on Thursday. So maybe while you're getting ready for work or something, or you're already at work, maybe you can pull it up and watch some curling action. Those are the first ones. And then ice hockey later that day, beginning 10:40 a.m. Eastern time, I believe, is the time on the sheet. I didn't see that for sure. That should be right. It'll be at 10:40 a.m. Ice hockey, USA women playing Czechia in their first group stage group stage, preliminary round stage, Czechia, United States. So in the hockey and curling are the 2 sports that are before the opening ceremonies begin, which is cool. So if you hockey, obviously a sport that's very synonymous in the United States that people can watch on the daily. The women's preliminary round tournament begins then. And there's some snowboarding also that day, some qualifications, big air ski, but mostly hockey and curling is what is going to be your primetime slate leading you into the opening ceremony. Some figure skating as well. And then, like I said, some snowboarding, some figure skating. And then the opening ceremony is beginning that afternoon here at 2 o'clock in the United States in the Central Time Zone, which will then lead into the opening ceremonies into your Olympic flicks. So, and then Saturday comes around and there's so much going on that it's the Olympics. There's so much going on. There's hockey every day. There's curling. There's alpine skiing. There's luge, cross country skiing. There's so much going on top of Super Bowl week. So even after the Super Bowl, like you look at this, you can watch, Super Bowl Sunday. There is no shortage. You're going to have college basketball. You're going to have Nebraska basketball on Saturday. If you're a local Nebraskan, you watch Nebraska, 11 a.m. You could also watch like curling at the same time or hockey at the same time. Which is really cool because like you just get that like Olympic, like I get a big like Olympic flicks, I guess is the way to say it. I go all in while watching. So then you'll have that on top of basketball. It's a really good week of college basketball. You got Nebraska playing Rutgers, the obvious local game that you want to watch. Nebraska heading out to Piscataway. Duke, North Carolina is this weekend. Always a fun rivalry college basketball game. It is a blue blood rivalry of college basketball that casual basketball fans will watch because that is Duke, North Carolina. That is the rivalry of college basketball. Plus, you have Michigan State playing Illinois. Maybe Illinois can win another ranked road game. Maybe. Outside of that, then you have the Olympics going on at the same time. Then Sunday comes around. Sunday, a lot of games happening on Saturday because of the Olympics. You'll have some NBA, obviously, and you'll have some college basketball leak into the afternoon schedule on Sunday. But you can watch the Olympics throughout the day on Sunday. I know a lot of people, I don't know how many people watch the 8 hours of pregame they have on TV for the Super Bowl. There's a lot going on, but you can watch the Olympics and that could lead into your Super Bowl. And then after, you can watch the Olympics that they're going to be showing on TV, the same channel the Super Bowl's on. So that's really, really neat because you can get your full-on Olympics going into, and then that bleeds into the weekend. I think hockey will be the most interesting. I know I've hyped up curling here for the past couple minutes and couple days, I would say. I was big on curling. We got to get the UNL curling on here because I've kind of gave him a nice little shout out here on late night, the last couple nights, and me being in the curling fan of myself, I'm going to be locked into it and I'm going to get ready to learn everything. I know they're called stones. They roll down the path there and then the broom, they're pretty much brooming it. From somebody who doesn't know the sport, like doesn't know it fully, there's a lot more strategy that goes into it than they just throw it down the little lane there, kind of like a bowling ball. It's on ice. It's a little different. It's a little different than what you would expect. But that hockey obviously will be the big talking point due to the NHL players, the National Hockey League allowing professional players to go and play in that. So you'll be able to see just some stacked rosters across the board because Finland has some good NHL players. Sweden's obviously really good. If you watch anything like the World Juniors, if anybody's ever, it's usually between after Christmas, leaks a little bit into January. It's a tournament between some of the youngest players, young up and coming players in hockey. They meet usually. This one was held in Minnesota this year. USA, Finland, Sweden, Germany, Canada, a lot of those teams usually make it. And that's kind of what this Olympic field is. So it's a lot of the best of the best. It should be exciting because you have that. That'll be a very big talking point in not just in the Olympic world, but just the professional world, because like how the NBA players go to the Olympics and play for a gold medal. You heard a lot about that with Canada if Canada and USA end up matching up, which I believe they are scheduled to play each other on their schedule, because I believe they're in the same group. It's one of that or the women, but when those teams play each other, it'll be a big deal. But if USA Hockey, if they're playing, if they're going to play Canada, it's always a big deal. We saw a mix of it a year ago, and the NHL put on that little series. Right now, USA is not going to play them in the preliminary rounds, so maybe in the playoffs, maybe in the quarterfinals, maybe the semifinals, maybe the gold medal match. You see a United States-Canada matchup with all NHL players, and that'll be a fun, and it will be a big deal. It will be a big deal. But USA men will usually be starting hockey. They play Latvia, Denmark, and Germany in preliminary rounds. They'll play those matches at 2:00 Central Time, so you'll be able to watch them. If you're at work, maybe not, but they will show replays. It'll be a fun time. I'm really excited for the next upcoming weeks. We have this. You have the Super Bowl. You have college basketball. There's just a lot going on. And then that's not just the month of February. February, the NBA All-Star Game is what it is. You know, maybe we get a dunk contest, maybe. That's a topic for another day. NBA trade deadline's coming up. And you flip the calendar to March, you got baseball starting up. You have college baseball starting up this month. College softball starting up this month. World Baseball Classic will be a hot topic in the baseball world. You have a lot of those MLB players representing your country. USA will be a big talking point with Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. kind of being the stars of the show for those teams. They've been kind of talked about a lot of the advertising for the World Baseball Classic. So there's a lot to look forward to in sports. I know a lot of it's about the Huskers right now, and that will be too once we get into March. March Madness will be around, and Nebraska football practice will be started up soon for spring. And spring, they're having a spring game this year, so there's a lot on the sports calendar, and that's just February, March. May, June will be the College World Series. June will also be the start of the World Cup, which is the biggest World Cup because they added teams. There's now more teams than ever in the FIFA World Cup, and the FIFA World Cup is right in their backyard it's in the United States this year. So a lot to look forward to over the next 4 to 6 months, and then after that, right back into football season. It's kind of crazy how the sports calendar works this year, especially with how stacked it's going to be. A lot of fun opportunities, a lot of fun games coming up. So we only have a couple more minutes left. We're going to take one more break, and we'll be back. We'll sign off. A couple news and notes. I have a little crazy stat about Pete Maravich. I've seen it every year, but I really haven't dove into it before. So we're going to dive into that, and then a couple other news and notes. Before you send you into your Tuesday and sign you off for this Monday night. Late Night in Lincoln here, 92.7 The Ticket. Nick Whyman will be back with you in a little bit.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2 plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hello, I am Arden Lockheim, host of Arden's Angle from 8 to 9 p.m. on Thursdays. And my favorite part of downtown Lincoln is the Mill. It's the best place to get coffee. I love sitting and studying there. Everyone should go check it out.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Culture and Coffee with Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys is back this Friday, February 6th, featuring members from the Nebraska baseball team. Stop by this Friday between 5 and 8 p.m. as we turn the ticket into a skate park. You heard that right, a skate park. And also highlight the upcoming year for Husker baseball with players from the team. Again, that's 5 to 8 p.m. this Friday, February 6th, for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a Vintage Market Plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you won't want to miss.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Welcome back. Late Night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman, rock with you for one more final segment. Under 10 minutes to go in the show. Talked a lot about everything. Talked about Husker sports in general. A lot of Husker activities that just happened over the weekend. Basketball, obviously, losing their 2 straight hit out to Piscataway this weekend. So, as always, Nebraska basketball postgame will be around 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock, on Saturday after Nebraska plays Rutgers. And then on Sunday at 3 o'clock, that's what I meant to say. Nebraska wrestling is playing, going to be facing Northwestern in a dual. Wrestling post-match coverage will be around 3 o'clock on Sunday. So, you'll have that on the weekend fix for you with Husker Athletics. We talked a little about the MLB rights, TV, how to watch the Royals going forward into 2026 as their season progresses. And then we talked about the Super Bowl and the Winter Olympics, which are 2 of the biggest things in the sports world going on in this week. I kind of wanted to wrap up a little bit, just 2 little main points. My first one was this stat always pops up. I see usually around this year on social media. Usually it's taken and put on social media about Pistol Pete Maravich. Played in the NBA, obviously, played his days there, and then was at LSU for 3 years, played 83 games during his time with Louisiana State in the late 60s to 67 to 70 during his time there, 3 years. So former head coach Dale Brown, he was the head coach at the time at LSU when Pete Maravich was playing with LSU. He reportedly charted every one of Pete Maravich's shots in college to see what he would average with a three-point line. Remind you, there was no three-point line at the time when Pete Maravich was playing college basketball. It was only 2 points. And so per LSU's old head coach, Dale Brown, he charted every one of Pistol Pete shots if there was a three-point. Because back then, shooting from that far was uncharted. It wasn't anything, but Pistol Pete Maravich was. If you averaged in with the three-point line, Pistol Pete would have scored a total of 4,731 career points during his time playing college basketball at LSU. That would have averaged 57 points per game by himself. Remind you with this, he didn't play his freshman year at LSU. Not because he transferred like today's age, not because of that. Was because freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity college basketball back then. So he was only playing 3 years, still scored. I have his actual stats in front of me. It was 57 points per game. Reportedly, if you added in his charted shots, that could have been three-pointers by former LSU coach Dave Brown. But if you take those away, he averaged 44.2 points per game. It's like, yeah. I mean, 57 something, but 44 is still a lot of points. One other note I was going to have before we sign off tonight. On Saturday ticket weekends, I was talking about NASCAR season beginning. Their season, it's still not began. They were supposed to run exhibition race at Bowman Gray on Sunday, got pushed on Monday. That also has now been pushed to Wednesday night. So it'll be Wednesday night when that happens. That is going to be a NASCAR on a Wednesday night. That is very weird. Usually you see motorsports on the weekends, so that's just how it goes, I guess. Weather, it snowed like 12 inches or something great, like 9 to 12 inches out there in Winston-Salem and North Carolina. So that's crazy. That snow, we got lucky here in Lincoln. We didn't get much snow. It's kind of already melted. It should be melted by the end of the week. So crazy times. But that is all I have for you here tonight on this Monday night, February 2nd, 2026. We'll be here later tonight. We have another stacked lineup of shows tomorrow night. Takedown Tuesdays, obviously one of them tomorrow night, and everything else in the world. There is a lot to go on. Harrison will be here tomorrow. Harrison Arns will be here tomorrow night. We'll probably do an hour with me. Maybe we can get some guests in here. I've kind of asked around for some guests, threw out some ideas. People have been sick, so that is one of the main reasons. We could have had some guests on last week, but the flu bug has been through the air. So remember to wash your hands and everything like that, all that good stuff, housekeeping items. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get some guests. We'll have some fun with this. This has been Late Night Lincoln, Nick Whyman. Thank you for staying with me for these 2 hours. See you guys tomorrow. Early break will be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. As usual, you can watch the guys Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush then. But yeah, that's all for today. See you guys tomorrow on Tuesday, February 3rd.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse